Now,
Well, 15 minutes to go until the big sprint. Now, Alice Plunkett, she may have been retired to the paddocks for the summer, but before she went off to take a well-earned break, she recorded this special item with a group of youngsters at Sandown Park recently.
When I was at school, I used to sit at my desk looking out of the window, dreaming about ponies and racing and not really concentrating on maths or anything that was going on in the classroom. But these guys are so lucky because thanks to BHEST, education is being brought out into the real world. I'm joined by Judith Allen, who's the Executive Director of BHEST. What exactly is BHEST?
Well, BHEST is the British Horse Racing Education and Standards Trust, and one of the activities we do is the Racing to School programme, and it's an education programme that's been running for about 10 years now, where we offer children the opportunity to come to the racecourse or their local stud or trainer's yard, and they practice their school subjects, but in the context of horse racing.
We've added the saddle, now the jockey weighs 10 stone, 3.5. So how heavy was that saddle?
So are you using things like odds? Because that must be a little contentious with the age group that you're working with.
Well, it's a common misconception that we might teach them about that sort of thing. But in fact, there are so many other opportunities to learning that we don't touch on that at all because we don't feel it's appropriate. So, for example, they go into the weighing room and they get on the scales, they'll estimate their weight and then they get the chance to sit on the scales. They go out and they measure on the track, they measure statues to see the size of horses, they might work out the capacity of the grandstand. It's all educational things that link with racing. So we're not actually teaching about racing, but they learn about racing through doing these activities.
That's absolutely brilliant. How many children are you targeting or getting involved per year?
It started on quite a small scale, and we're now taking over 10,000 children a year on these visits. It's been very successful. Schools book in year on year because it's an excellent way of showing their school subjects how they work in the real world and putting a practical side to what they're doing. We're a charity, and so we're very lucky to be funded by the Levy Board, and we have some fantastic donors and supporters as well, but we are ambitiously fundraising in order to keep the programme going.
So this horse is 16 hands?
About, I think so, yes.
Well, Ollie, you're now the lead education officer for BHEST, and a fantastic job, because when I knew you at the Dukes and you were really successful as a rider, I didn't really put you into this kind of role in the future, but my God, it fits.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, jockeys, unless you're very successful like Tony McCoy or the top boys, you've got to sort of find a niche after you've finished riding. BHEST and myself have crossed paths, and it's something I've really enjoyed. Right, in a minute we're going to have a little competition, and we're going to see if any of you lot can give me an estimate about how much you weigh.
But it's great because you put education into a real world where often it feels so detached.
Exactly, and actually the racecourse environment is brilliant. From the weighing room, as you've seen this morning, look at the weights and the measurements, doing estimating out on the track. You can pretty much put maths into any context in life, but racing it does fit in really well.
And I mean, the different variety of kids that you get here, what's been the most satisfying for you? What sort of reaction have you had that's really thought, I'm doing something
Yeah,
useful?
well, we get a vast range of year groups come on the days. We've got some year 3s, so sort of 8 and 9-year-olds, all the way up to secondary school, business studies days. But actually the reaction, many of them have never been racing before, and just getting them out into a different environment really does stir their emotion. They see the horses. It's the first time many of them have actually seen a horse as well. The horse is going to get to its full height about here, then what's going to happen? Well, it's an opportunity to actually bring the kids down onto the racecourse, and really what we're trying to do is get them to actually realise how strong these horses are and actually how far and the effort they have to put in to jump just one of these fences. OK, now what we're going to do is work out how far the horses have to jump to get over one of these. I think you will be astounded about the power and the speed of the horses. So the idea is really to get them imagining they're riding a horse, jumping one of these fences for real, talking about how fast the horses actually travel in a race, and then actually ask them to work out, where they want the horses to take off from, just so they can actually get a picture and actually overall see that the horses are, they're jumping round about 7-8 metres every time they actually take off and jump one of these fences.
But there's a great culmination to the day.
Exactly. I mean, the whole point from our our point of view is that once they've seen all the action behind the scenes, they actually finish off by seeing a race.
I like that one.
Do you like that one? Yeah.
That one was sticking out a minute ago.
Bellman Black Knight.
The excitement of seeing the horses up close in action, for many is the highlight of the day.
Yeah, come on, Great Run!
I was most surprised about how high the horses had to jump.
The best bit was seeing the horses in the parade ring. I most enjoyed learning about how far the horses have to jump over the jump. Didn't think they could jump 7 metre 20.
I most enjoyed watching the horses go around the paddock and measuring the paddock as well.
I mostly enjoy seeing the horse I like the best win the race